Hey everybody, June of 2000 here, coming at you with a review of the original 1976 song Precinct 13 and the remake from 2005. And I've seen both movies a lot, and this one is the better movie. This one has better cast, better characters, better pace, better directing, and even better fucking music. Like John Carpenter's music in this movie is badass. The one in the remake is just shitty soundtrack and bullshit music. This one is much better and it still kicks ass. This movie is about a group of gangs, mixed race, from Mexicans to blacks to whites, all kind of gangs that are crazy, they're demented, they kind of come off as demons and zombies. And of course, they attack the police station that's held by the sheriff Bishop, who is played by Austin Stroker. And Austin Stroker is a pretty good actor. Rest in peace. Saw him in one of the Planet Ape movies, and he's also aided by one of his lady workers, secretaries that are working there, played by Lori Zimmers. She's good in her performance. And Darwin Johnson playing the Napoleon prisoner character. He's fucking awesome. He always says, "You gotta smoke. You gotta smoke." But yeah, very badass movie. It's a bit of a siege movie too, because they are surrounded by this Cholo gang members that are demented, crazy, out of the blue. No backstory, no bullshit prequel stuff to why are they attacking them? It's original, it's unexplained, it's disturbing. The characters are disturbing. They even kill some civilians, including the little girl gets killed in that shocking ice cream scene. And originally that was supposed to be cut out, and because it was going to be an X-rated for the MPAs, but Carpenter said fuck you to them and decided to just have that impactful scene in the movie, which does give the villains more of how fucking cruel and violent they are. Like, they don't give a shit about killing anybody. They give a shit about just doing mayhem and just killing anybody. Like, what the fuck? They're crazy motherfuckers. And they are going to shoot out with the shootout, and of course the little girl's dad kills one of the leaders, and then they follow him at the police station in the precinct, and of course everybody gets killed. Char Cypher's one of the transfer guards. He gets killed, and it's all up to Austin Stroker, Darwin Johnson, and Lori Zimmers to like kick ass and take no names like a motherfucker and shoot these gang cholo demented fucks, going like a lot of action packed gun slinging badass shit throughout, with a lot of sniper shooting, a lot of guns playing, badass shit. And it's awesome and practical, and they show that these gang members are really fucking disturbing, and they want to kill Austin Stroker and everybody else. So they align with the Napoleon and the other prisoner. So they have to do like cops and robbers, like teaming against these crazy fucking gangs, and shootout, and one leads to another. They get rampage around these gangs, and they try to get in. They shoot them. And the movie's also based on, Carpenter wanted to base the movie on Real Bravo and Night of the Living Dead. Both movies that are great. That's why it has a Western vibe around it, because Carpenter was inspired by the Real Bravo movie. So yeah, it does have like a Western vibe around it. And it's so badass. It's a slow burn. A lot of people are not going to give a shit about slow burn movies. I don't know why they don't appreciate these badass films like that. But, and of course, people are going to bitch about, oh, why are they attacking them? Why are they attacking them? We don't know fucking need no damn story. No damn story. No prequel bullshit. It's there. They're demented. They're scary as fuck. And they're like demons from hell. So, fucking A, they're scary. And this movie is thrilling from start to finish. It's a 91-minute film. Kicks ass, take no names. And yeah, all the prisoners, like on the original poster, like, that's fucking badass, dude. Like, promoting your movie like that with a badass poster of all the prisoners trying to get it, all the gangs trying to get in. Scary shit. Austin Stoker did a good job. Darwin Johnson was good and funny. Laura Simmers was a badass. I liked her character. She wasn't like stupid or trying to be sexy or trying to be all this goody two shit. She was serious about trying to survive with Austin Stoker and Darwin Johnson, and she even gets shot in the arm and she's like not feeling no pain and she starts shooting the fucking gangs that are going through the hallway. That's badass. Like her character's badass. None of that woke, forceful bullshit that's gonna annoy you or she's crying her eyes out. No, she helps them out. She's badass. And yeah, this movie is badass from start to finish. And Carpenter's music is super awesome. I love his synthesizer. Do 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 do. Badass music, man. And then now to the remake from 2005, starring Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke. I did not like this remake. This remake is boring and generic as fuck. Like, this movie just feels generic. It's long. It's an hour and 49 minutes, like, so it's like 10 minutes longer than the original. And gosh, this movie doesn't have the same flavor as the original. It's trying to be different where, instead of the Cholo gangs, it's dirty cops trying to kill Lawrence Fishburne's character named Bishop. Of course, they do the Mick Rays, where now it's the cop that's the white guy is the cop and the black guy is the criminal. They do the swap race, but they still keep like Lawrence Fishburne's character, like his character is Bishop, which is based off the Austin Stoker's character from the original. And there are some moments where it does feel similar, like two characters are trying to drive away and they get shot in the back by a dirty cop that has a sniper. And it's like also showing the same similar scene where one of the prisoners tries to escape with a car, but the gang is behind and shoots him behind the head. And there's some other points that it's similar to the original. Of course, like one of these officer chicks or something trying to be sexy and whatever. She's supposed to be based off Laurie Zimmer's character, but I thought the one in the remake was lame. It did not have emotion and didn't give me two shits about that character. That character's fucking boring and like trying to be sexy, but I don't give a shit. I thought Laurie Zimmers did a better job in that performance where she wasn't trying to be sexy or trying to be all goody two or crying her head off. No. Laurie Zimmer was better in the original. And that's like that's another thing that's similar. Like that character's supposed to be like similar, but Laurie Zimmer was better. And you got other actors in the movie like John Leguizamo and Gabriel Byrne. They're okay in their parts. Gabriel Byrne, he's the main villain, and he's supposed to go after Lawrence Fishburne's character because they're trying to kill him so they wouldn't testify against him and trying to put him to jail and stuff with him and his dirty cop crew. It feels generic, like dirty cops trying to kill cops. Feels seen that, done that. I thought the villains were just bland as fuck. Gabriel Byrne was kind of barely in the movie. He only had like 2 or 3 scenes, but it felt like you didn't really have a developed arc of how demented and his ruthless his character is going to be. He kills one of these characters in an execution style and it's supposed to be scary, but it just feels like you really don't have much arc with Gabriel Byrne. And I liked him in other movies like Ghost Ship and End of Days. Even in End of Days, he was a better villain in that movie than this bullshit remake. And this movie just doesn't flow well. It also has a crappy, shitty soundtrack that just sounds generic and boring. The music is not that good. It doesn't have good music compared to like Carpenter's badass score in the original. And the cast of characters, most of them I didn't give 2 shits about. I did like the opening with Ethan Hawke where he accidentally gets his crew killed and he kills the bad guys. It's pretty awesome. I'll admit the opening's pretty cool, and it just his character's okay. And also Lawrence Fishburne, the same thing. But Lawrence Fishburne's character is fucking weird. Like his character's weird, and it doesn't seem like an authentic gangster character. I thought Napoleon was better in that role, in the criminal role. Darwin Johnson playing Napoleon. I thought that character was more funny because they're trying to put jokes with Lawrence Fishburne, but I thought Darren Johnson played more funnier with the Napoleon character, where he said some jokes to Bishop throughout the movie, and I thought those characters were much better in the original. I do like Ethan Hawke and Lawrence Fishburne; those are good actors. Even Gabriel Burns and Don Gonzalez, but I just don't give a fuck about this remake. It's boring. It's generic. It's lame. It's dull as shit, and it doesn't have that punch. It doesn't have that impactful slow burn, because this movie's boring as crap. And people complain that the original is boring. Like, how is this original boring? This one is boring as shit because there's barely any interesting story. You don't give crap about the characters. They're generic. They're mediocre at best. And the shooting scenes are okay. There's decent shooting scenes, and then it's also awesome that it's filmed in the snow, and it's an action movie in the snow. Badass, but it's pale compared to the original, which the original was more badass, and the villains are just generic. The gang Cholo mixed race gang was better in the original, where there were scarier villains, and you don't know what's gonna happen because they were scary. They were like shooting snipers and rifles at the police station. They kept coming in like zombies, like scary villains, man. Much better scary villains in the original, but the villains in this one are just generic. Gabriel Burns, he gets shot by Ethan Hawke at the end, and it's not even a memorable death scene. You thought you would have like a more fight scene between Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke fighting Gabriel Burns, but it's just like a generic shootout. It's like, oh, he gets shot. Ethan Hawke and Gabriel Burns shoot each other, and that's it. Gabriel Burns dies from a shot wound. Lame death scene to a villain character that they really barely developed that much. It's just dull as shit. I do like some of the actors, and it does have some decent action scenes, and I like the way it's shot in the snow, but in an action movie. But compared to the original, it's dull as shit and pale. And it also came out the same year as John Carpenter's remake of The Fog, and that to me, I think, is more of a piece of shit compared to this remake, because I think that remake is more of a boring piece of shit. But this still is a little bit of a piece of shit remake. It's just more of a generic shit remake compared to the original OG that still kicks ass. But that's my thoughts for the original and remake, folks. Original kicks ass, take no names, and still holds up with badass cast, badass shootings, and badass score by John Carpenter. And the remake is okay with some action scenes, especially the opening, and some nice shots in the snow where it's an action movie in the snow, and some good actors in the movie, but it's just a generic, boring piece of shit compared to the original. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Assault on Precinct 13 remake and the original, folks. What's your thoughts on it? Leave it in the comments, and have a good day, everybody. Take care.